Today on the Matt and Ann Show, we welcome two-time Pro Bowler Jason Babin. Welcome to the show, Jason.
Appreciate you guys having me on.
We want to start off on Tuesday. We lost John Madden. Could you give us some thoughts on John, and did you ever get a chance to meet him?
It was just nice to meet you, sir. Kind of handshake, in a little function setting. But he's definitely, a grandfather of football. I mean, you can't mention Madden without thinking football. So he's going to be missed, and the legacy he leaves behind is going to be there forever.
Absolutely.
What that means, people on his concept. Did you ever play the Madden game when you were growing up?
What's that? I didn't catch that.
The Madden games growing up?
I was one of the few kids that just didn't have video games. I never got into video games. So of course I've played it, a time or two. And I think it's been pretty cool lately. I think I've seen a lot of guys post on social media their favorite Madden plays and things like that. So it's definitely I think for the younger kids, they only know Madden as the video game, but the more you dive into it, they realize, oh, this guy knows football too. So and obviously you can't think of Turducken either without John Madden.
Yeah, you were on the 2011 Dream Team with the Eagles. What do you think went wrong with that team? Because it was such a great team. You had a career year. I think you had 18 and a half sacks. What do you think didn't take you guys to the next level that year?
So those situations, you can be, one game, from really becoming a team, or one game from, kind of that team kind of fracturing a little bit. And it's really hard to pinpoint like one little thing that sent it the wrong direction. But we were definitely right there. Just for whatever reason, didn't get those last little pieces in place to because at the end of the day, it's a team game. It doesn't matter how well one person does. It's a collective efforts. Of guys working at one goal. Just came up a little short.
Do you have any favorite moment from that time?
You have any favorite moment?
Yeah, I just realized you had a Cowboys shirt on. Am I seeing that right? I don't know if I'm going to take any more questions from you.
Can't go another route. That's the rest of the questions.
No, honestly, some of my really good friends, relationships I still have to this day are a lot of guys from that team. It's like anything else. You bond during the hard times. You bond during the tough days of training camp, or you bond during the losses and the wins and the big moments. So, the relationships that I still have because of my, the years of the Eagles is, to me is one of the most important things.
Do you still watch the NFL at all? And if you do, what has impressed you the most this season? Like what team, players?
Well, full disclosure, I was watching the Bucks play Buffalo, and I have some friends on the Bucks teams that still play. And I think by friendship alliances, I needed to be rooting for the Bucks. But in that fourth quarter, I tell you what, I found myself rooting for the Buffalo Bills. And watching Josh Allen play, I was like he was playing the game of football that fourth quarter, just the way you want to play football. And I even told, because I went to the Bucks game, I think 2 weeks after that, and I told some of my buddies on the team after the game, I'm like, hey, just so y'all know, I wasn't rooting for you in the fourth quarter. But just to see someone play like that, especially a younger guy, it was really good to see.
Absolutely.
Do you have a favorite player that you like to play with when you were on the Eagles?
Did I have a favorite player when I played, or right now?
Or when you were on the Eagles, did you have a favorite player? And then like in your whole career too?
Honestly, I didn't, my watching of football when I played was usually just, game tape. I'm watching the sideline view, watching the end zone view, listening to the TV view, trying to pick up signals. But one thing that I did that kind of helped me was emulate. Early on in my career, I was just trying to just kind of struggling, trying to figure out, what I was good at, where I fit, and I got to be teammates with Patrick Kearney, and we were also represented by the same agent, and I always worked hard, always trained, do the right things, and then when I got to be teammates with Patrick in Seattle, I got to see how he really trained, how he ate, how he slept, how he regimented, all the things he did to take care of his body. As you get older, you got to start taking your body more. And, so I emulated what he was doing. And I don't even know if he had realizes what an impact he had on me, but I'm like, well, shit, he's an all pro. What does Patrick do? So I found myself working out with him, finding out how does he eat? How does he sleep? He has a hyperbaric chamber. I want a hyperbaric chamber. I got a hyperbaric chamber, so, in a roundabout way, you could say he's one of my players that, I looked up to when I played because, he had became an all pro, and his work ethic is the reason he got there.
We were talking about the Eagles earlier. Obviously, you played for them. What do you think about the little run they're on? Do you think they're going to make the playoffs? And do you keep tabs on the other teams you played for?
Yeah, I definitely keep tabs. I haven't made it back. It's been tough with the Rona situation, but I try to go back to an alumni game at least once a year, ambassador, for some of the teams I've played for in the past. So if the teams I played for are on, I definitely watch them. And I still have a lot of friends, at the Eagles and on the team and in the area. So if they're on, I'm definitely rooting for them. But yeah, I'd love to see them in the playoffs.
Do you have a favorite stadium that you like to go to, or
You have a
One more time?
stadium you like to go to?
A favorite what?
Thing?
One more time?
Did you have a favorite stadium you like to go to?
Well, you always like to be home, that's for sure. But say some of the fun stadiums are, the Seahawks Stadium. If you're away, I guess the most imposing stadiums. If you're the away team in Seattle, you're the away team, and at Philly, you're the away team at Kansas City. It's those fans, those stadiums, for whatever reason, they're so loud. It's almost like the sound muffles your ears. It almost hurts your ears when those fans are all cheering. When you're on defense.
Absolutely, absolutely. We were talking about earlier about like predictions and all that. Who do you think is going to be in the Super Bowl this year of the teams? You were talking about you loved what the Bills are doing. Who do you think is going to make it? And ignore him with the Cowboys thing.
I wish I knew, but I honestly, as a fan and from a non-football perspective, you always love the Cinderella story. The team that's it's 7-8 or 8-7, and they just lost a bunch of close games. Yeah. Or a young team or a young coach. Because nowadays, I got friends that coach, just as much as I have friends that play, on the field on Sundays. So I turn the game like, oh, I didn't know he was coaching, there now, or oh, he's a head coach now, or it's hard for me to turn the game and not know one of the coaches. So rooting for them, but I think I'm sure everyone wants to say, oh, the Buccaneers going to be in it, but I want to see someone like Buffalo, a team like that's it's going to be dangerous when they get in the playoffs. It's got a good run game and a solid defense.
You mentioned that you have a lot of good friends. Do you have any memory of maybe a time that you had with a player or maybe a fan?
Did you have a favorite memory with a fan from your career that you can reminisce on?
Yeah, I'm not gonna put him on blast now, but there's a young fan that I know I took a picture with early in my career, and then I actually got to play him in the NFL.
Wow.
Again, at my end of my career, so it's kind of funny. So it was a funny picture, and a funny memory for sure.
How was that feeling like? Remember that you took a picture and then I had to play with him. How was that feeling for you, or did you know at all?
How was that experience for you, knowing that the guy you took a picture of when they were a kid now is in the league?
I felt old as shit that day. We were laughing about it before the game, warming up on the field. So, but yeah, times change no matter what. That's for sure.
Did you have a favorite team growing up, or do you have like a favorite team now, or are you just like basically root for people on those teams?
Oh no, I grew up in Michigan, so I was a Lions fan. Loved to watch Barry Sanders run the ball. Watching them on Thanksgiving at my aunt's house. It was a lot of really good memories. I think there was one time we played Ford Field, and I had all my I was all involved with my Pop Warner when I played in my hometown. We used to sponsor them with my Under Armour credit. So I used to do that every year. But then the one time I played at Ford Field, I got a couple buses for them all, and they all got to come up and had their own section and watch me play.
Detroit's had kind of a down year this year. They're 2-12. They play hard every week. That's one thing you can.
Yeah.
A lot of the games they lost were close games. Do you see a bright future in Detroit in the next couple of years?
It's hard not to. And I'll compare the Jaguars versus the Detroit situation. And I talked to a lot of the guys, coaches, players, mainly over text, but the guys in Detroit love him, right? I mean, they really do. And I think that's a sentiment throughout the upper office to the locker room. Now, on the flip side, if you come to the Jacksonville situation, there wasn't the same amount of love in the locker room that they had in Detroit. So there's something to be said, with what kind of person you are, and if you're not having the results that you want, what kind of credit is extended to you.
Do you think Jared Goff's going to stay, or do you think they're going to replace him with someone from the draft this year?
Well, there's one thing I learned. Doesn't matter who you are. I remember it really hit home for me when I saw, and I played against Peyton Manning, most of my career I was in the division. Yeah. When the Colts got rid of him, I was like, holy shit. Everybody, it doesn't matter who you are. They'll get rid of your ass in a second. Yeah. So I think it's everyone is looking to get replaced at every moment. Every year they evaluate every position. I think that's from the coaching, the general manager, down to the quarterback, down to the equipment manager. Where can we get better? And if they can get better, and they think they get better, then they're going to do it. That's just the nature of the game.
Well, I had to ask about my Cowboys. What do you think about my Cowboys, and do you see a bright future for all these new young guys that we have?
Do you see a bright future for the Cowboys with all the new guys they got, along with some of the veterans like Zeke and Dak?
Well, I've always liked the Cowboys. I always think they're a good team. It was always fun to play them. But I think the issue sometimes with the Cowboys is it's hard to say without being there. But how much does the owner interject into the situation? I mean, can you say he's the one that I want to do this, and maybe just he does it, and maybe it's not the right move. So it'd be interesting to see, in a perfect world, let's put a general manager in there and just tell him to keep his nose out of it. Let's just see what happens for a couple of years. I think that'd be the route to go at this point.
I'm gonna finish it up with this. What's your thoughts on Jalen Hurts? Do you think he's the future in Philly, or do you think they should possibly replace him in the next couple of years?
Well, there's one thing I know: as long as you win, everything will take care of itself. So just win, baby.
Well, thank you for coming on. Do you have anything you want to promote?
Right now in my life, I'm dad, coach, from high school on down football. But the cool thing that I'm doing with my real estate brokerages is we've recently been franchising with our real Red Zone Realty. So it's kind of been cool. I've been able to kind of overlay some of my travels with going to see my former teams, with meetings with franchisees in other states, other cities. So if anything, just spread the word about Red Zone Realty.
Absolutely. And where can we find you on social media?
Yeah, I'm at Jason J Babin 93 on Instagram. And then our website's www.redzonerealtygroup.com.
Awesome. I want to thank Jason Babin for coming on the show today. It was a complete honor. Thank you, Jason.
All right, you guys stay warm.
We definitely will.